Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. This is a 1987 to 92 Honda TRX 250X motor. Kickstart, hand clutch. I got this from Andrew Camarata a whole pile of years ago. I don't know, maybe as far as 10 years ago. I bought this and a four-wheeler, another 250X. He was cleaning up at his folks' house and he wanted these gone and he gave me a deal and I bought the two of them. So this engine might almost be famous. So, as always, what's the story? To be honest with you, I got it and I really didn't do anything with it. I think I got the 250X that was complete. I think I got that one running, but I'm not even sure about that either. Boy, scary, huh? Anyway, let's spend a few minutes and see what we're going to do with this thing, whether it's going to get parted out or not. Those of you folks who are familiar with the Hondas, you have the 250X, and it was replaced in 93 by the 300EX, an electric start, a little better displacement. And I think, or people have told me, that they share some parts, that some parts are swappable. And I'm not sure which ones are or are not. You guys could probably tell me that. This thing's been parted out a little bit, right? It appears to be in gear. Somebody stole a few pieces off. I don't know if that's the one that goes on there. That's one I picked up over the years because I have had a few deals on these. Or what the story is. Looks like all the bolt holes work, but that doesn't. So anyway, let's spend a few minutes and see what this thing's story is. So from a Kickstarter point of view, it's seized. Right, I don't want to push down too hard there and bend valves or anything. Let's see. Right, they turn counterclockwise. Well, that's a good sign. Swap hands. Yeah. So I think it probably jumped on. What I'm going to do is let's loosen up the valves and see if it'll go by there. Right. Hopefully it didn't damage the head. If you guys have had to buy any components for these, the covers and the top end are expensive. Loosening up the valves are easy. You just spin these retainers off. They appear to be nice and tight. Anyway, so you spin those off and then just back the centers out. Okay, here we go. Wow, they appear to be under tension. Okay, that valve should be closed now, even though there's tension on it. Sorry about the furnace, guys. Yeah, so that spun out. That spun out. Now for these two guys. So anyway, thanks for all the good wishes. I think I picked up the Omicron over Christmas. the if not the local version. I picked up the New York City or the Pennsylvania, South Central Pennsylvania version. And let's see if this thing will spin now. It's interesting. And the valves were just stuck. It's turning now. It could be, one of the valves could be stuck, which means it's hitting it. I still have the spark plug in there. So, anyway, let's get that out, see where the piston is, kind of go on from there. The other side of the engine is where the timing chain is. Looks like I could do kind of an ugly time on it. And the way you do that, you figure out about where the pulse generator is, that thing right there. You figure out about where that is. You figure out about where the piston is, and the valves both being closed, right? Cam down. Well, that's not really going to help much. I think I'm going to end up having to break into this thing. So this is what the spark plug looks like. A little rusty in there. Binding on the way out too. You know, I'm probably going to put a shot of WD-40 down the spark plug hole. It never hurts to loosen things up a little bit. So let's set this thing up for our top dead center, and I think you guys could see it there, right? You have one F and one T, and you can see the F, right? And the one above it is T, and you see, hopefully, yeah, see that guy right there is lined up with the top dead center. So we're at top dead center. Now, you know you're at top dead center because as you rock this back and forth, the valves stay closed, and they do. Then if you go around once to the, when it fires but doesn't really, or it fires and doesn't do anything, if you go there, you can feel that the intake valve is opening as you're crossing top dead center, and the exhaust valve is closing, right? And why is that? Because it's coming up after the power stroke and exhausting, and then as soon as it gets to the top, you want to open the intake up and inhale fresh gas and then compress it, right? And as you're compressing it, this is coming around your fire, right? Boom, down, then back up again. So, generally speaking, the time seems pretty close. I'm going to pull off the skull cap and check to see if I can't get some timing marks there. And then between the two of them to be sure. I mean, I'd be surprised if I got a perfectly good engine that didn't jump time or anything. That would really surprise me. But, you know, you never know. To get the skull cap loose, looks like I removed like 13 of these. I think I got a little blue death there too, so somebody might have been in here. Though the bolts don't look scarred up. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Well, might as well get a little bit automated here, right? Not everything has to be done by hand. I already loosened them. Sometimes these feel like they're going to snap off. So if you kind of do it by hand, you can, you know, give them the old wiggle rather than just break them. Yeah. Obviously this is much quicker. So, alright. I'm going to try to leave all the bolts in here on the skull cap. Sometimes that's a fool's errand because it doesn't work out. But maybe. It's always good to have something living in here. I don't know, doesn't look too bad. I wonder where your timing marks are. Gonna have to sniff those out. But generally speaking, with both lobes down evenly, and that's about right there. Timing chain appears to be intact, appears to be tight, appears to be sitting on the pulleys well. Maybe I lucked out and got an engine with nothing wrong with it. Maybe she just needed to be loosened up a little bit. Interesting. Okay, let's talk timing, right? See that line there? And see that line there, right? You want those across here. You want the lobes down, right? And you want this guy here, right, lined up with that. So looks like my timing is good. This thing didn't jump time. Interesting. Now, what are we going to do? There's a few things one should really try. I'm going to try a pressure test, because now that the valves are closed, right? I mean, I know they're closed because there's no followers to push them open, right? So I'm going to put some pressure into the piston. And we're going to hear if any exhaust comes out there or if anything comes out of the input. And from there, we kind of begin to figure out if the valves are sealed. If the valves are sealing, that means mechanically this engine's fine. And I'm going to have to put a Kickstarter on it again to see if she'll turn over, then a shifter on it, and go on from there. By the way, I'm thrilled to find that even if it needs a valve job, a valve or whatever, it's the top end of these engines are kind of hard to get, and it appears as if the top end of this engine is in decent shape, and that's nothing but good news. So if you pressurize the combustion chamber, you end up with stuff just flowing out of there, and it looks like some kind of insect built a nest in there. The exhaust valves are leaking, but the intake appears to be even worse. I'm not quite sure why. So I'm going to try to get the head off of this. There are 4 hexes and a Allen key. Hopefully that's not one of those weird Allen key sizes. It was a bear to get those out. Ended up using one of these L guys, but man, I was on it. Had to put a pipe to it. Should have had my Wheaties, I guess. So, I don't know, am I going to be able to get this out of here one-handed? I really don't. There's things you really want to be careful about not losing, eh? Right. Some of the stuff, you lose it and hard to find again. Anyway, I think I think this is a two-hander. Here, I'll lift it off and then turn the camera back on. Okay, here are the valves. And I gotta be honest with you, they don't look horrible. And it looks like there's some debris under this one, right? Actually, both intakes, right? This is the intake side. They really don't look half bad. They're obviously leaking, right? I was able, you can hear the wind jetting right by them. This is just some WD-40. Yeah, looks like I gotta throw a valve job into it. Valve cleaning, valve reseating into it. Now I'm starting to get a little curious about the bottom end. If this thing was perhaps taken offline because the bottom end was blown up. I remember the Kickstarter being seized. I don't know. I had another one of these outside that there were some parts taken from. I believe it's a 250X. I'd be even happier if it was a 300EX. I also got that 300EX from Steve. I got the bottom end of it. And if one is able to swap the head, the jug and the head, the piston, jug and head, that means I could grab that guy. I'd personally rather have a 300EX than a 250X. Nowadays, at my age, I prefer the jerk starter. So that's just me. Some of you guys, you know, kicking them over by leg is a way of getting exercise or something. For me, it's a way of blowing out a knee, so I'd rather have an electric starter. Alright, I guess I'm going to wrap this up here. Every once in a while, Andrew watches one of my videos, so if he does, if he can let me know what this engine died of. By the way, there is a head gasket here. That'd be cool. If not, next thing I'm going to pop it into neutral, make sure it goes, then start checking the clutch out and so forth. But I think this is all you guys are going to be seeing of this engine for a little while. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's always interesting to see why is my engine seized. And it appears as if this one probably weather on the valves. Weather was probably locking the valves up. I'm not quite sure if there was something going on with the recoil. Maybe I can put a vice grip further back here and see if I can turn it over. So it appeared to be in second gear. I clicked it down, it went into first, and I gave it a half a click up and it went right into neutral. So it doesn't appear to be seized because of the transmission. So the recoil appears to be working. Right, so yeah, I'm not quite sure why it appeared to be locked up. Maybe it's just weather. I mean, the piston really appears to be pretty good. Right? I don't feel any ridging. There's not a huge ridge around the top. There's no grooves, right? As I rub my grind my fingernail on it, you don't hear the so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why this was taken offline, unless it was just weather. It just died of sitting. Maybe that was it. You got me. Now it's just a matter of either taking parts off of it or bringing it back to life as a whole one. We'll see. Anyway, I really do want to thank you guys for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please, feet down, heads up, and make sure you all get out and enjoy each and every day. And don't be catching the plague. It's a pain in the neck. Bye now.